So this is my video for Lab 2 of Oceanography and Meteorology. For this lab, we were tasked to use Google Earth in order to find various features of the ocean, such as an island arc. Now, I'm not, for this video, tasked to go through this list and show you these features. I was supposed to find my own. So island arcs are very common. There's a bunch of islands in the world. There's a bunch through here, and you can find certain areas. This might not constitute an island arc, but you can see arcs in them. And I was looking around, Japan was one that was also kind of given as an example because it's a large island, but it is still very curved and still is an island. And then, oh, what just happened? Then also you can find Hawaii is also has its own kind of curve, like this curves in and then out, and this curves kind of in as well. But I don't want to use something very common, so I was looking around, and then I ended up coming back here, but I found right up here is this nice little one right here, Santa Cruz de, not saying that last one, and it's off the coast of Morocco, and I've actually done work like something in the past about Morocco and these islands. So I saw that, I was like, history, let's get back to that. Then we were tasked with seamounts, which this is the example of a seamount. I was having trouble finding names for them, so I went with this bad boy right here, Seamount Kelvin, and this is Seamount Manning, so I went with Kelvin, which is right there. So seamounts, you can kind of tell most of the ocean kind of is flat or has like these kind of tracks almost in them, but these seamounts are very rigid, have a lot of character, have a lot of detail, and so these are seamounts. Next was, I believe, Goyotes. I don't remember where my Guyot is or even what it was, but it's just it's a seamount that's flat on the top. So here's an example of a Guyot. I don't even remember Guyot. But volcano, there's a lot of volcanoes in the world. There's a ton of them, and I wanted to go with this one because I've been in New Zealand. I've been through this area, and I knew about some of the history with this volcano and why it has this like almost artificial line circle to it. But I mean, that's not what I'm here to talk about, and that's not the volcano I used because I wanted to find one under the ocean. And so I ended up coming up here, and there's one right off the coast. It's a very, I believe, kind of known one, but it's the axial, which is this. I believe it's this right here. It doesn't pop up, so I don't really know, but I believe it's this right here, and it is one of the biggest ones. It's called the axial seamount, but it is a volcano, I believe, from what I looked up, and so it's just. It's massive, so it's like kind of hard to see. I think this might be the top of it, but it's like this whole area right here. So that was my volcano. Next, this isn't actually in this list of 7 on here, but we were supposed to find a mountain with a crater, or a volcano with a crater. And this one I didn't go with the ocean for because I was struggling, but I found this one. On the like Chilean mountain ranges, has this nice little crater right here. Again, not pronouncing that name, but it's a volcano, so it's a mountain that could have volcanic activity that has a crater for a roof. So, or a roof that's not as for the point. Then the last couple of things is just the Mid-Atlantic Ridge, which is just a mountain range in the water, and now I'm not set to north, just a mountain range in the water, and I ended up finding along where these like plates are moving apart and there's this big trench. There's a lot of these sort of kind of ridges and trenches through this area. I was looking for this, and I ended up finding this one right here, which is the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. So that's the one I went with. You can tell it's kind of like the seamounts, but it's longer and it has just as much character. And the last 2 things was abyssal plains, which is just any of these just open, flat areas in the water that don't have a lot of detail. Doesn't have a lot of character, but that's fine. It's living life and it's loving life. And then lastly, there is abyssal hills, which is just basically any of these kind of smoother mountains that you'd find under the water. And don't be fooled by them being so much smaller compared to a lot of the other details in the ocean. They can get pretty big, but it's just any of these kind of just rough patches in the ocean that you can find, like a bunch. There's a bunch through here. This is basically like a rolling hill in the ocean. So that is Lab 2.